Hi guys, Derek here. This is a message that I think applies to non-believers and believers. So I went through a phase in my life where I was given this doctrine of Christianity that was basically less than 100 years old. It's not the original gospel, it's not the Bible, but it's like a message, and I think it's a church formula. And my old self, when I switched, when I realized what really the gospel is, I felt like, man, those of us who still live by the old way should say something to people who we've encountered. We should say something to non-believers about, hey, sorry maybe. I think it should be a sorry. And I'll tell you why. So first, a little bit of background. The gospel, over, I think it was less than 100 years ago, they turned it into a thing where you say a prayer to go to heaven, and your name is written on the book of life, and then you're good. And it used to be, I mean, what it really is at its core, it is a way to deny yourself and to follow Jesus. It's a way to become love, because God is love. Okay, we agree with that. We are in his image. We are made in his image. When Adam sinned, we lost his image. Adam became in need of love rather than love, because he's cut off from God. Then he became in need of love. All of us were born into Adam. That's why we need to be born again. That's why we need to deny ourselves to follow Jesus. And we see, oh, we are connected to God. We become love. Our motive in life changes so that we are actually waking up for his kingdom. We're not waking up for ourselves. It's because everything, every insecurity, every problem that we have in life today is at its source selfishness. At its source, it is self-centeredness. So it's the more that you let go, the more that you put off the old and put on the new, as the word says, the more that you become love, the more that you see what's important, the more that all of the stuff that you used to do as a Christian without knowledge kind of comes to light. So here are some things that I did that I want to apologize for, and I hope that a lot of people who hear this video will feel the same way. Maybe they'll be convicted, or I'm hoping that people who watch this video are starting to understand, or they already do understand, the real gospel about transformation and how this list that I'm going to go through, why it's wrong, why it doesn't really fit with Christianity. Okay, so the first one is showing love rather than being loving. I've been to a lot of churches over the years, and I would see a lot of people with the smile, the bright smile, asking me how my day is, and all of that, right? But I don't see the love. I don't feel it. There's something that feels off about it, you know. It could be, I mean, I could give a lot of examples. It could be a neighbor. It could be at the end of the service, like everybody, like they talk to you a little bit, but if they don't really love you, they don't really want to talk to you. It's almost like they want to show that they're loving. They want to show their reputation, and they'll say like, well, we got to go. Well, we got blah, blah, blah. Well, I got to go. And it's almost like the fact that you're saying that you got to go and that everybody has to go, rather than being enthusiastic to stick around and talk to people who believe the same as you, people who are inheriting the kingdom as you, it kind of shows that you don't really want to talk to them. You don't really want to be around the people that are in your church, right? So what does that say? And like, do you really need to go? Do you really have an appointment? Most of the time, I would say, people who talk a little bit and say, well, we got to go, it's usually not true. They don't really have to go. Like, why are we in such a hurry, you know? You know what I found is when people show so much like, wow, how are you, dear? Wow, bless your heart. Wow, it's so much like of this loving language towards you. It's almost like they're covering up for the fact that they don't really love you. They feel guilty about it, so they have to overcompensate, because any time that anything feels unnatural, there's probably something unnatural about it. There's probably something going on. and this is my theory about when there are people who are overly showering you with love, but something feels off. It's probably because they're not loving, but they don't understand why. That's because they don't understand the real gospel of transformation. They could be real. They could suffer a lot less if they were following the real gospel. So acting happy, acting like everything is okay. This is another one. Why would you want to be a Christian if the Christian life means you can never share what's going on in your life and you have to always act like everything is okay, and you're never able to admit that you're having some problem or struggle? Why would anyone want that? That's super stressful. And like having to put on a show about how perfect your life is going, even if it's in good intention for non-believers, you want to show them, hey, the Christian life is good because of blah, blah, blah. But faking it is the worst. If you don't feel happy, just say to a non-believer, I don't feel happy. And they will understand, and they will connect with you as a human so much more. But if you genuinely feel good, you genuinely feel happy, and they can ask you why, or maybe you can genuinely give a reason, or you can genuinely say why you're happy. It's because you're just living for God and you're not bogged down by all these worries about stuff that you used to fear about that you're not going to get, or that this other stuff that you used to pursue, or this selfishness, self-motives, or whatever. I'll just give a quick example. Let's say I wake up, my motive is to be happy. That is my motive in life. I live for my happiness. And then I have this list of stuff that makes me happy. Okay, going to the lake makes me happy. I'm driving to the lake, oh, there's construction, and I can't go to the lake today. I'm going to get pissed off. I'm going to get pissed off at the government. I'm going to get pissed off. I'm going to show some kind of toxic. It's the fruit of this belief. The fruit of this belief is some kind of toxic negativity, anger, what have you, because I'm not living for something greater. I'm living for myself, and it doesn't work. It's the biggest problem with humanity. So if you don't feel happy as a Christian, I've learned to just tell people and be vulnerable, and it's even better if you tell them the real reason. Like, yeah, I'm having trouble surrendering, it's like sometimes it's not an instant thing. For me, it's like, I want to surrender, but there are so many teachings of the world that I still believe. There are so many teachings from society that are keeping me from surrendering, from trusting that yes, this is the way. Yes, there is only one way. Yes, it's okay to not think that like the world does. No, it's not going to make me an outcast. It's going to make me even more connected with people. The other thing, the wall. There's this, again, if you become a Christian for your sake, and you're like, okay, I'm going to heaven now. I have God. You see other people, you see them in their wicked ways, and you kind of feel this wall between you and them. Because your priority is not love, there's this invisible wall that's created where you feel like us and them, right? But I had this vision one time where there was this girl she was in my share house, and she was like really rude to me, like really disrespectful, and I just decided in my heart, like, she disrespected me. I don't have to love her. I don't have to have anything to do with her. And then I had this vision one time of like, basically God, if God is our Father, everyone around us is our brother and sister. If you have the gospel and you believe it, it's like you found something from God, from the Father, it's like, I don't know, like a piece of candy. Let's say we're children. You found this amazing candy, and it tastes amazing, and you want other children who are eating sour lemons and they're not happy. You want to give them this food that makes them satisfied, makes them happy, gives them life, I don't know, whatever, this fruit. But they don't want to. They don't even want to try it. They don't even want to taste it. You're not going to create a barrier like, I have this fruit, you don't have it. Let's just imagine that we're children right now. You have this special fruit, and you make a wall between those who don't have it, or those who haven't even heard of it, or those who refuse to eat it. If you're in love, if you actually were transformed through Jesus, he would teach you how to love these people, how to love people and see them as your equals, see them as connected to you, You're not looking down on them. You're not looking up at them. There is an equal, a linear, what is it? It's not slanted, it's horizontal. There's a horizontal connection between you and them. Anytime that your mind creates something where you're looking down on people, or some kind of fake connection where you're looking up, like they have more money, I don't know, it's all an illusion from hell, basically. We're all connected. Some of us have chosen to believe, some of us haven't, but we all have the potential to believe, because Jesus said he doesn't want anyone to be lost. He doesn't want any of his children to be lost, okay? So that means there's no wall. There's no us and them. And the next point, there's no holier than thou. Like, the more that I become secure in my faith, the less that I become offended, the less that I become bothered when I'm around people who are talking about how much sex they have with prostitutes, or all the cursing or whatever they're doing in their lifestyle, because I understand that they just don't know what they don't know. And I haven't seen a healing in my life. I've heard of a lot of healings, friends, and I've seen videos of it, and people will be like cussing, like people who are being healed, like they would cuss when they're healed, like because they're surprised that's what they usually say. God's not bothered by what they say like that. Like, he loves them anyway, and we should love others too. So there's no holier than thou. Jesus said, do not judge, right? Or you too will be judged. That's so clear in the gospel, and yet Christians have a reputation for being judgmental. They might not say anything, but in their heart they're judging someone, and that is not being a follower. That is not being a Christian. And again, I'm guilty of all this too before I understood, right? Okay, the other thing we should apologize for is making ministry feel like a chore and feel like something that doesn't feel good. So if you were praising God, I think you would agree with me, everybody would agree with me, that he wants us to praise from the heart. He doesn't want us to praise or give or anything from an unwilling heart. That means that our praise is a natural phenomenon that comes out in just this gratitude, this joy, this awe of him. And I'm more and more, I'm kind of against the church formula where, okay, you have a band and like you guys practice the songs, you know the song list. It's not bad, but what if there were musicians who were just wanted to go up there and they're like, hey guys, this song is in my heart right now, let's sing it. And what if they don't have a playlist? What if they have a bunch of songs that they can play depending on your mood, depending on what's speaking to you in the Holy Spirit? I like to improvise. What if I'm not, I'm a hypocrite because I don't have the guts to do it yet at a church, like to go on and just improvise a praise song. But there's so many ways that, like, when you want to praise, like I praise in my home when I'm alone, and I ought to be able to praise God however I want to, dancing or whatever. Just like look at King David, the way he praised God in it like a crazy man, and dancing around like a crazy guy for God, and like his wife got angry and stuff. King David in the Old Testament. I don't know if it was, I don't remember what book it was, but anyway, Kings 1 or 2. So the way we worship, okay, there's this misconception again. If you're following ministry, you're following God and you're doing ministry in order to do anything except for his kingdom. Like if your motive deep down is something else, like you can say, my motive is for his kingdom because of God, blah, blah, blah. But you can tell what people really care about by what they talk about. And when I talk to ministers and all they talk about is the numbers of people that they're going to save, I'm thinking, are you like, are you finding your identity through how many people you can save? How do you know that you saved them? All we're doing is planting seeds, right? We're just sharing, and we're just living our lives like Jesus, and we're sharing why, and we're sharing how others can as well. Why are we so worried about numbers? Like God has already validated us. Like I don't see any reason to worry about numbers. So when people talk about how much numbers they're getting, when people always talk about money and stuff, it's like they reveal in their heart what their motive really is, what they care about the most. And so ministering, if you see some people, again, in the worship team, and you see that they're not really, you kind of feel that they don't really want to be there, and you could just feel it, like something feels like they don't really want to be there. And you can kind of feel the difference when people are singing from their heart and when they're just putting on a show. And there's something in some churches where people say the worship is so great, and it's like, I've heard the sounds from this worship and I've heard the sounds from this worship, and I've noticed that there's something about this, and I think it can only be expressed as the heart, as the energy. It means it's sincere. This is how it should be. If there's something that feels off, is there something that feels kind of not exciting, not fruit of the Holy Spirit, then it's like maybe these people they don't really need to be ministering. I'm not saying we should fire them. I'm saying we should ask them why they're really doing it. And I think the common answer, if they were to speak truthfully, if they took a truth pill at that moment, we would say, I find my identity in ministry, rather than I seek God, I get close to Him, He makes me so happy that I just want to sing and I love music, and that's why I do this. So it could be ministering, it could be evangelism. If it seems that the person doesn't want to be there, why would anybody want to follow them in their footsteps? People are attracted to, because we are human, we're attracted to freedom of negative thinking, of worry, of stress, and all this stuff. Why would we be attracted to ministry when it's becoming, you can see the stress in people's eyes when they're ministering. It just means they're doing it for the wrong reasons, right? Okay, thank you guys for watching. I think I could make a longer list than this. I'm sure there are thousands of things. These are just the common things that I've seen. Let me know what you think, and I'll see you in the next video.